Hey Wes, I hope you're doing well. Obviously, the initial question, just your thoughts on the regional, the breakdown, and just kind of your take looking at it a day later.
Yeah, I mean, again, about what we expected, and we're first game we're paired up against a Vermont team that's been very hot, won 9 out of their last 10, 16 of their last 18, and they're fourth in the country in defense points allowed, 52 points per game. So obviously our main focus is on them right now, but we obviously have staff working on potential opponents as well. But yeah, very similar to the schedule we had a year ago. So we'll try to keep things pretty similar as far as preparation and things like that. And we're excited. I'm proud of this team for being able to secure a home bid. That's to me the probably the thing that I keeps me up at night more than anything else is trying to secure one of those top 16 spots. And that's based on your body of work for the whole season. So every game is so critical. So I'm proud of this team for being able to put themselves in that position. But at the same time, it doesn't guarantee you anything. You still got to show up and get it done. But we're excited to be playing at home and in front of our fans.
I do have a follow-up, and it might be slightly off topic. I notice all the hardware behind you, can't help but notice it. But you mentioned the body of work and just a comparison for you in terms of an ACC regular season title versus an ACC tournament title. How do you look at those two?
Well, first of all, I'd rather have both of them.
There you go.
So, I mean, that's a no brainer. I tell you what, I feel for the men's side with them not having, we have that extra week in there, which is pretty nice. I don't know how, for the guys, if you obviously play for your conference tournament championship game and now all of a sudden you have another game on Thursday, maybe, or whatever, it's a tight turnaround. And this time of year to play, three, four, or as Iron Men did a year ago, 5 games in the conference tournament and then to turn around and have to play again in a few days. But no, again, I do look at the regular season title is to me, that's over an 18 game schedule. And, that's in this league, that's pretty tough. The people, the great talent, the great coaches, it's quite an accomplishment to be able to win a regular season championship. So proud of our team for that. Very disappointed in our performance last Sunday. Um, I just didn't feel like. First of all, give credit to Duke though. I mean, they
Mhm.
always play great D. They always rebound, but they also shot the ball well, really well in the second half against us. But disappointed in our effort defensively on the boards. So that's hopefully something we can shore up here over this period that we've had and try to get ready for the NCAA's.
Thanks, Wes.
Yes, sir.
Jaden? Yeah, speaking of that week off, how do you think, the recovery has gone, specifically for, Isaiah and Sanaya who was sick, as you enter this weekend?
Yeah, we're again same schedule we had, and with us playing on Saturday, it's exactly the same schedule we had. So we gave them 3 days off. It was spring break, and felt like they deserved that after what they've been through this long haul of a season. So we gave them 3 days off. Came back, practiced. Well, Thursday did weight lifted, got some shots up, and then Friday, Saturday had full go practices where we could focus on us. And then had yesterday off, except for the viewing party, of course. And now we'll practice today and tomorrow, knowing who our opponent is, and then we'll have a day off in there again, and have 2 more days to prep before playing on Saturday. So, like the way we have it set up, and hopefully, we get some good results again. But yeah, I think everybody's in pretty good shape now as far as recovery time and all that. Hopefully, and we're ready to go.
I also wanted to ask, this morning, Courtney Banghart did her media call, and she was talking about how she was a little bit disappointed that your pod and their pod, the games are at the same time. Was that, she wanted, fans to be able to go to both sites and see as many games as they wanted. Was that something that y'all talked about or you've thought about at all?
No, because as you guys know, the men regional is also here in town, and it's Friday and Sunday, I believe. So, I mean, I think it's good we're staggered, to be honest with you, with the versus men as well. So, no, I mean, again, hadn't really thought about it. Just again, glad to be hosting and excited about the opportunity.
Rob?
Yeah, Wes, I remember when you first got to state, it seemed like you were chasing the top 16. You were chasing teams in the ACC, and you kind of broke through at one point. The gap between where you were and those teams back then, is it tighter now with the, like you say, like a Michigan State? Or is that a team that could make a deep run in the tournament, for example? Do you
Sure.
think the gap between these teams that are 7, 8, 9 is maybe not as profound as it used to be?
Oh, no doubt. I think there's a lot more parity in our game. I mean, hey, anybody want to go out on a limb here and pick the national champion? It's I just think there's a lot of teams that could get hot and win it. I think last year we were fortunate we got hot and got on a roll and uh, went through the juggernaut of Tennessee, Stanford, Texas to get to the Final Four. So I do. I think right now there's more parity in our game and more excitement. And I look at Michigan State. For instance, one thing jumped right out at me. We thought Michigan would be another team that could possibly be sent here, and they beat Michigan by 30 at one point at Michigan. Now again, then Michigan beat Michigan State at Michigan State. So it's a crazy game. That just shows the parity right there. But obviously they play in a strong conference as well. They've played against UCLA, USC, and so Ohio State. I mean they're not going to be intimidated by us or coming in here for sure. It'll be a hard fought game, and we're going to have to play really well. We understand that's what I said. It's great to be at home. It's great that our players have earned that opportunity for us. But at this point, that doesn't guarantee you anything. You got to go out and perform.
One follow up, sir, is about Madison Hayes.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, she's matured as a player over her time with you. Just speak to her maturization as a woman, as a student, and as a leader, as a person, since she transferred over to NC State.
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't ask for a better person than Madison. Obviously, her parents done an unbelievable job of raising her, bringing her up, and then I think that's important. Your culture, uh, your locker room, things like that. Madison's going to be a positive influence in those situations, and then representing your program. And she's had a great year. Like I said, I know not everyone can make all conference, but she was, I think, in conference play, 13 points a game, 8 boards a game, led us in rebounding, I think second maybe or third in scoring. So again, all around player, person. We've been very blessed to have her for 4 years. And again, she makes a big difference. I've said before, she's kind of that glue player that holds stuff together and does a lot of the blue collar things you have to do to be successful.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Noah?
Hey, Coach. Good morning. At the beginning of the season, you guys weren't sure what you were going to get out of the front court, but throughout the year, Tilda and Lorena have kind of really come on for you. What's it been like kind of seeing their development throughout the season as they seem to just kind of get better and better? And how important is it now, kind of when you're at this stage where it's win or go home?
Yeah, very proud of them. The work they've put in, the time they've put in, how much they've improved, and I think a lot of credit goes to our coaches. Nikki West works with our posts. Kevin Leatherwood works with our posts. I think they've done an excellent job, and Kayla Jones, our grad assistants, down there with them as well. So I think they've done a heck of a job bringing those kids along, and then those kids have stepped up. And to think about them being in the fire out there in some big games this year. and coming through, is pretty amazing for a freshman. And we know this is going to be their first time to, dip their toes in the NCAA waters, and so it's going to be a big challenge as well. But hey, I feel a lot better about that situation now than I did a couple of months ago. So proud of how far they've come.
JC?
Two of your former esteemed assistant coaches played Vermont at Providence and Rice. How much information gossip happens at this time of the year in the coaching community?
I'm sorry, one more time.
Okay. Two of your former assistant coaches
Yeah.
against Vermont, Rice, Providence. How much gossip happens at this time of the year in the coaching community?
Yeah. Technically, if they're in the same conference, you really can't do much. But yes, Lindsay at Rice and Aaron at Providence are not in the same league. So yeah, they can be of help for sure. And then obviously I think I've got 13 games on Vermont on my computer right now. I'm not going to watch all 13 of them, but our staff, obviously we split the games up. We got a couple of coaches working on Vermont and a couple of coaches here and there looking ahead. So, but yeah, definitely helps to have somebody you can turn to and maybe see their approach. I know, both of them had success. I know Rice had a pretty good win, but again, those were way back in November, and kind of like us, a lot of things change, and so you have to really rely on probably the last few weeks of the season a little bit more, but definitely can be a resource.
Pat?
Hey, Wes, what does it say just about the area that we've got, all three women's teams hosting, plus the men's regional here in Raleigh this week as well?
Yeah. How about that? Wasn't easy to find a hotel either, which, it's crazy when you think about how many teams are going to be in this area this weekend. So, yeah, I mean, it says a lot about the ACC and Tobacco Road and all that stuff. And it's pretty neat because, again, these are your traditional ACC teams, the footprint, so to speak. It is. It's exciting. And again, Courtney and Kara Lawson, they've both done great jobs of, building those teams, and they're having unbelievable seasons. And then obviously, like I said, I'm proud of where our players have placed us, and then 8 men's teams here as well for their regional, I guess. So pretty crazy.
Chris?
Yeah, Coach. I asked Courtney Banghart this, and I guess I'll ask you this as well. In terms of making sure that when these players are going into the game, like checking on them mentally, making sure they're doing well. And she had mentioned that's something that's not really talked about a whole lot that needs to be. What kind of check-ins are you doing with the athletes to make sure they're mentally well and they're going into the NCAA tournament as like refreshed as possible? Because I know it can be grueling out there, especially a lot of pressure being on them right now.
Well, first of all, we have great support here in mental health and with different counselors and things like that. So we definitely have the resources there. Obviously, I don't get involved in that. I let the professionals handle those things. But I guess I don't look at it that way. I mean, again, this is a great time of year. Some people call it March Madness. I like calling it March Gladness. I mean, this is what you've worked for all year. And so I think, for the most part, our kids are really excited and they're used to playing in big games and performing on this stage. So, I feel good where we're at. And I think everybody's pretty strong in that regard right now, but definitely you want to make sure the resources are there and they have an opportunity if they do want to talk with someone, and we have that.
James?
Yeah, Wes, I know early in the season you were trying to figure some things out at the 5 position, and obviously Tilda has emerged, but you've also been receiving contributions from the others. Can you just discuss where you are now at that position heading into the tournament?
Yeah, I mean, we're you still miss River Baldwin and Mimi Collins because they had 5 years of Power 5 experience. So You miss that a little bit. But like I said, I feel a whole lot better now than I did a couple of months ago. I think what Tilda's doing is remarkable. She seems to handle it, take it all in stride, and doesn't get phased by it a whole lot. And Lorena's, again, had some big moments for us coming on as well. Both of them are improving greatly. And then you got Mallory Collier, a little bit of a steadying force, but she's only a sophomore. So again, it is, from that regard, yeah, you'd like to have more experience. You wish they had a little bit more, under their belt, maybe this in NCAA and things like that. But at the same time, it's basketball. We're going out and playing, and they've played against some great, great teams in the ACC. So I think they've been battle tested, and now's another opportunity to take another step.
Lewis?
Hey, Wes.
Hey.
I wanted to ask, you mentioned her a little bit when you were talking about the development of some of the folks in your front court, but KJ, what kind of impact has KJ had just on this team? What kind of growth have you seen from her with now, finishing up her second year as a grad assistant for you?
Yeah, I've seen unbelievable growth from KJ from, when she started here as a freshman and played 4 years, obviously being drafted WNBA, had an opportunity to play overseas a year, and then just decided that really wasn't what she wanted. She wanted to go ahead and start pursuing a coaching career. She's been, unbelievable for us. I just think it's great when you have a former player who's still relatively young that can relate to the players, but also, get your message out and the kind again, the culture you want, those sort of things. I think, we're going to miss her a lot. I'm trying to talk her into maybe getting another master's, but I don't think it's working. I think she wants to go ahead and have an opportunity to get out there. And obviously there's coaching limits with NCAA on how many coaches we could have, because I'd love to keep her here. But yeah, she's come so far. Even our athletic director, Boo Corrigan, said to me one day, I just can't believe, how far she's come since a young player here. And yeah, it's just neat when you have someone like that. She's a great player, great person. The players respect her, but at the same time, they have a relationship caught up with each other and things like that. So yeah, again, hate to see her finish up her 2 years. But she's gonna be a good one. She works really hard at it, and I think has a great grasp on the game and on people, and like I said, really proud of her.
Thank you.
Anything else for Coach Moore? Awesome.